morning. Very happy to be here, very excited to be here. I would like to congratulate Ruben and the other directors for organizing and hosting this very important strategic event, which is the first step towards, I guess, improving, right, the level of English or English proficiency, right, both teachers and students in Mexico. So congratulations organizing and hosting this important event. The purpose of this presentation, ladies and gentlemen, of my presentation is to give you an overview, right, of an online platform, right, which was created by Edusoft, right, which is a world leader in the field of language learning, right. Edusoft is owned by ETS. ETS is the world's largest assessment and testing organization. ETS is the creator of the TOEFL, the TOEIC, the GMAT, the SAT, the GRE, right? So this platform was developed, was created by Edusoft and ETS, right? So this is probably one of the world's best and most powerful English language platforms, okay? I will try to make this session as interactive as possible, all right? If you have any questions, feel free to, raise your hand or jump in. Okay, so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Edusoft has been, the Edusoft solution has been successfully implemented, right, in over 35 countries, right? We've been conducting research. We've done some research measuring the effectiveness of our program, right? I'm a researcher at the University of California, where together with ETS, Edusoft, and the University of Chihuahua in the state of Chihuahua, we conducted a research study measuring or examining the effects of the English software on the test scores, persistence, motivation of Mexican students. Okay, let's scroll down, please. This research, ladies and gentlemen, is based on 58,000 students. 58,000 students, Mexican students, that were using the Edusoft platform or traditional face-to-face teaching methods, course books, from 2006 through 2016, right? So we compared the test scores, motivation, persistence, dropout, right, of 58,000 students that were using either the Edusoft solution or traditional face-to-face teaching methods over a period of 10 or 11 years. Right, so this is one of the most ambitious projects ever implemented in Latin America in terms of the scope, in terms of the, the size of this project. 58,000 students implemented over a period of 10 years, right? And the results, ladies and gentlemen, show that students that were using the online English language course, they did significantly better. They did much better compared to students who were taking the same course face-to-face. Both in terms of completion and in terms of persistence. By persistence, I mean dropout rates. The dropout rates among the Edusoft group were significantly lower compared to the students, right, in the control group, in the face-to-face group. All right, so this research, ladies and gentlemen, which was not conducted by Edusoft, it was conducted by the University of California, right, shows that the Edusoft solution, right, if it's implemented properly, right, leads to effective learning outcomes in terms of test scores, completion, motivation, when implemented in Mexico. All right. Ruben mentioned that you guys are going to use this new network, right? And one of the network objectives or aims is to do educational research. All right, and we're happy to, share with you some research findings, right, and help you implement or carry out some research projects using our researchers and researchers from the University of California, because doing research is the first step towards improving learning processes and learning outcomes, right? You need to identify those effective teaching processes and poor teaching processes in order to make adjustments, in order to improve teaching and instruction. So we're happy to, collaborate with Ruben and your team in order to do educational research to identify those effective, maybe poor, teaching practices. My first question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is why did the Edusoft group, why did the online group do better compared to the traditional face-to-face group? In other words, my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is what are the benefits, what are the advantages of online learning, of technology-based learning over traditional face-to-face instruction? What are the benefits for students, for teachers? Why did the online group outperform? Why did they do better compared to the control group? Yes, name please?
Gabriela.
Gabriela, yes.
Perhaps because you develop learner autonomy, and learner autonomy provokes that there is much more motivation.
Absolutely, learner autonomy, right? Promoting a more autonomous, a more personalized approach to language learning, right? Learning autonomy, excellent, Gabriela, yes sir.
It is related to the previous answer, but I think it's because students work at their own pace.
Wonderful, self-paced learning, ladies and gentlemen, autonomous, personalized learning. Your name? Name, sir?
Terminal.
Germinal? Okay, yes please.
Hi, my name is Rosia, and I think that it works because our students are techies nowadays, and we include technology. So
Absolutely.
That is why they love it, and it catches their attention.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. What we need to understand is that, many schools, not only in Mexico, but also, in Latin America, across Latin America, are using 19th century teaching methods, right, to teach 21st century students, right? 21st century students, right, they use technology 24/7, right? We cannot use 19th century teaching methods, right, when teaching 21st century students, all right? Yes, sir.
Exactly, my comment was towards that you're saying now. Online learning is more appealing to students nowadays rather than face-to-face classes.
Absolutely, it's more appealing, it's more suitable, right, for the 21st century students or learning styles. Yes, your name, by the way?
Martin.
Martin. Okay, yes, please.
Learner autonomy, my name is Maria Eugenia Mendez. I think that learner autonomy brings out intrinsic motivation, which is really important for learning a language.
Absolutely, it increases student motivation, right? Autonomy, personalized learning, self-paced learning increase student motivation, right? And student motivation is a key success factor, right? Yes, sir. Name?
Hello, my name is Alfredo.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm coming from Tamaulipas.
Tamaulipas.
That's right.
I was in Ciudad Victoria 3 years ago.
Well,
I survived my visit to Ciudad Victoria. I don't know how, but I did survive my visit to Ciudad Victoria.
You got lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say that one of the factors that create this difference between classroom traditional learning and learning via platform online is that the latter is more learner-centered. And the first one is completely based on the teacher in many cases. And besides that, there's also the number of students in each classroom. Online, it's completely centered on yourself as you're learning, while in the classroom, it's, like sometimes 30 people learning together.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. Online learning is more student-centered, right? It's more student-centered, right? As opposed to traditional teaching methods, where traditional teaching method, learning or instruction is more teacher-centered. All right? Thank you, Mr. Tamaulipas. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Juan Pedro Navarro.
Where are you from?
Also, I'm from Sonora.
Sonora.
The ICT literacy is the main tool of the 21st century student. Also, having an online course helps them keep an organized view of the whole course they're taking, which helps their metacognition as well. Of course, having the course online 24/7, it's also helpful.
Absolutely. Flexibility, accessibility. Ladies and gentlemen, using online course, you can access the course material anywhere, anytime, 24/7. It's accessible, it's available, it's flexible. All right? Excellent. Yes, please. Your name, where are you from?
My name is Isa and I'm from Tabasco. I
Tabasco.
think that the number and the quality of the materials that the student can access is another advantage. I mean,
Right.
it's not just a photocopy that we as teachers can give them.
Right, it's more, in terms of the user interface, right? It's more stimulating, right? It's more stimulating, plus content is regularly updated, right? The book, which was published, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, may or may no longer be relevant, right? After 4 years or 5 years, all right? Online content can be regularly or is regularly updated, all right? Yes. Name, where are you from?
Yes, Claudia, morning,
From?
from the state of Mexico. I was thinking about what you said about personalization. It is interesting that as the resources are 24 hours, they can contact you anytime. So it is actually the student gets closer to the teacher. Besides, sometimes during the class they don't comment anything. And with the other platforms, they are going to, set doubts, they are going to ask for guidance, and they are going to be incredibly closer than farther.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, thank you. Yes, please. Name, Tamaulipas?
Yes, good morning. I'm from
Two
Tamaulipas.
brave master trainers from Tamaulipas.
My name is Rocio. I also think it's important that students have the possibility of going back to the materials at any time. In a face-to-face session, yes, they make notes, but sometimes those notes are not good. And when they have the materials online, they can go back and revisit wherever they had doubts. So I think that's important as well.
Absolutely. Using an online course, an online platform, teachers or students can always go back. You can go back to the previous unit, you can go back to the previous lesson, you can go back to the previous course, right, to review, right, previous topics, right, or topics which were introduced like in previous units. Thank you. Yes, please. Name?
Hi, my name is Margarita. I come from Aguascalientes.
Aguascalientes.
All that has been said is really very interesting, and it's true, of course.
But?
Nowadays,
There is a but.
we deal with 21st century kids that,
Right.
that of course have an online mind.
But?
The thing is, what brings to my mind is what is our role as teachers going to be now?
Right.
You're saying that now face-to-face teaching is not as good or as profitable as online teaching. So what is our teaching role going to be nowadays?
All right. In general, generally speaking, right? Not
Yes,
specifically about this. The role of the teacher is changing or has changed dramatically. Talking about, the role of the teacher in general, not specifically about this project.
No, yes, of course.
Yes, the role of the teacher is changing or has changed from being, from being a lecturer, from being a sage on the stage, to being a facilitator, to being a guide on the side, right?
Absolutely.
Our role has changed from being a sage on the stage to being a guide on the side, from being a lecturer to being a facilitator, all right? Right?
Absolutely.
Plus also teaching methods have changed or are changing from being teacher-centered to being student-centered, right? There's a transition towards project-based learning. There's a transition towards, performance tasks, right? Also, there's a transition, right, from traditional assessment to alternative assessment, from summative assessment to formative assessment, all right? So the role of the teacher has changed dramatically, okay? Which is, again, one of the advantages of online or blended learning. Again, technology will not or will never replace teachers, all right? Technology will never replace teachers. However, teachers that do not use technology will be replaced by those who do.
Absolutely, again.
Again, technology will not replace teachers, but teachers that don't use technology will be replaced by those teachers who do. In other words, you guys need to use technology, right, in order to be part of this 21st century e-store, right? It's an e-store, right? A big, like, electronic store. Yes, sir, where are you from?
I'm from San Luis Potosí. I just want to make a comment. We're not talking about self-study courses. We're talking about blended courses. We're talking about a platform that enriches traditional teaching, right?
From what I understand, and Ruben, please correct me if I'm wrong, the platform will be integrated with your textbooks, correct? It will be integrated with the textbooks. In other words, we're going to build customized courses, online courses, which are fully integrated with your course books or with your national curriculum, okay? Yes, yes, sir, where are you from? Name, where are you from? Yes.
I'm Jorge, I'm from Nayarit. And well, going back to the question that you made at the beginning, I would also say, and taking into consideration what Margarita mentioned, I would say that the fact of using technology in our classes would be, or is a great advantage to integrate and to have access to a wide variety of resources immediately. And as facilitators, it would make our classes easier, more fluent, and nice and more attractive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Plus, you know, there is this theory of multiple intelligences, right? The multiple intelligence theory, Howard Gardner, Harvard University, right? Which talks about different, you know, learning styles, learning preferences. You've got your visual learners, you've got your social learners. You know, we've got like maybe between 7 or 9 different intelligence types, all right? And in order to accommodate the needs of your students, right, a course or a platform, right, should address or should accommodate students' different needs through videos, through social activities, through forum, through, you know, reading, through speaking, right, to accommodate the needs of, you know, your students, which is one of the advantages that online courses or blended courses have over traditional teacher-led lessons. Okay, using online courses, you can watch videos, you can interact with other students, you can use, you know, speech recognition technology. All right. Yes, please.
Good morning. My name is Luz Brenda, and I come from Tlaxcala. I just wanted to comment. Margarita's comment really made me decide to speak in public, which I don't like. Anyway, I do believe that we as teachers, being experts in teaching and learning, we do have some resources that are invaluable, and I think that the things that we do in the classroom, like paying attention, monitoring, assessing, paying attention to their emotional needs, I think that that cannot be replaced. And I consider that using technologies will be like an extension of the classroom and will make language learning a little bit easier. But I think that the teacher and the technologies have to go together in order to have a good outcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, the combination of technology with, you know, teacher-led lessons, right, is superior, is better, far better compared to like teacher-led lessons or traditional teaching. In other words, it's the technology combined with, you know, the teacher, with the classroom teacher, classroom instruction. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm from Guerrero. My name is Alvaro. I just want to say that one of the biggest factors that plays a role in education, and if you're working specifically on an LMS on-site platform, is instant feedback. I think it's very difficult when you have a large group of students to give everyone one by one feedback at that moment when they need it. And I think that working through a platform helps give a solution to this problem.
Absolutely. One of the advantages, one of the benefits of, you know, online technologies is instant feedback. Technology or this platform, right, gives instant feedback to students, right? Additionally, one of the advantages that this platform has, it will reduce teachers' workload. This technology or this platform will reduce your workload. This platform comes with a tool, an automated writing evaluation tool, which would automatically, which gives feedback to students on their writing assignments. All right, it would, correct their spelling, their grammar, the punctuation, mechanics, capital letters, sentence structure. All right, it's all done automatically. This will reduce your workload. All right, it will reduce your workload. So you can spend more one-on-one time with struggling students. All right, so again, technology is not here, it's not going to replace teachers, it's going to make teaching more effective. Right? It's going to automate some of your routine tasks. Exams are graded automatically. Writing assignments will be scored automatically. So you can spend more one-on-one time with students that need you the most. These are the struggling students. All right, so to those of you who are a bit hesitant, or have some doubts as to why we should use technology, all right, technology is not here, is not going to replace teachers, it's just going to make learning and teaching more effective by reducing your workload, right? Yes, please.
My name is Gerard, I come from Puebla. Good morning, everybody.
Puebla.
I think nobody here doubts that.
Oh, just hold on a second, the mic. Please use the mic.
My name is Gerard, I come from Puebla.
Puebla.
I think everybody present here doesn't doubt that.
Good.
We have been working with this.
Wonderful.
However, when we face a dinosaur structure where you say,
It's a Mexican dinosaur.
may I suggest no, but this will work, no. So that is the challenge that most of us are facing.
But when you use the word dinosaur to describe what? The schools, the system, the students. What do you mean by dinosaurs?
The structure that what has been the status quo for, in our case, in my institution particularly, 139 years.
Right, right. Well,
So it's
I mean, this is the first step, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first step towards, revolutionizing or making some, strategic decisions as to how to improve learning and teaching processes. All right, this is the first step. I mean, the team, all the directors have made a strategic decision to use this platform. All right, so this is the first step towards integrating technologies into the system, right? Which is a very important step. Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Veronica. I'm from Nuevo León. And going back to the question, just to say that it is important for the students to have different types of input, like the platform will offer, like videos, speaking, audios, all of that in the same place, and not maybe boring teachers speaking all the time. So,
all right. Thank you. You guys,
Sorry, I'm Jimena, I'm from Korea, and I just wanted to ask you if the study that you showed us has been published, and if we could have access to it.
Yes.
I would be really interested in
Sure.
knowing more about the
Yes.
methodology and the variables that you employ.
Sure. Your name again?
Jimena.
Jimena. The paper is under review. It was accepted for publication in the British Journal of Educational Technology, which is a journal which focusing on online learning, blended learning, and education. So it was accepted for publication in the British Journal of Educational Technology. Yes.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Alejandro. I'm from Tlaxcala. And the other thing that I wanted to add is that sometimes we don't have internet in our school, so that is a big issue for this platform.
Right.
And the other thing is that I think we need some training as well, not only for us, but for the students, because many times, well, in my case, I work in a normal that teaches teachers, so they are actually teaching.
Right.
So sometimes they are like 40, 45, 50, and many times they don't know how to use the computer that well.
Right. Okay. So to answer your question, what's the name?
Alejandro.
To answer Alejandro's question, schools where there's no computer lab or where there's no internet access, students can access the program from home, anywhere, anytime, from any device, right? So if they have, a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop, or if they have internet access, right? If there's a community center, a library, or community center where there is internet access, then they can access the program from from there. Teacher training. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, I would say a kickoff meeting or first meeting, right, which will be followed by trainings and workshops, both online and face-to-face. All right, so we are happy to train teachers and master trainers and coaches, right, and to familiarize them, to train them on the platform, right? So this is, I would say, the first step, right, in a long-term relationship or partnership or friendship between, between us. Yes, please. Yes. Whoever wants to. Oh, sorry. She.
I have a microphone.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Ruth.
Ruth from?
Ruth. Yes, from Baja California, Mexicali.
I was in Baja California yesterday.
Really? Where?
Los Cabos.
Oh, that's south. It's the south. We come from the north.
All right.
Well, my comment is that in my school, well, we actually have a computer lab.
Good.
And the lab is equipped with internet. There's a computer for every student. We have a projector.
Right.
And every time we have a class in the lab, students can wait to use the computer. And they are always asking like, teacher, are we gonna use the computer today?
Good.
And I try to use different links that I get from the internet. So this is actually like wonderful. So now we can take advantage of this.
Wonderful.
And now I can give my students something really related to what they need to learn.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're getting a certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important point or comment that Ruth just made. For technology to be successfully implemented, right, or to be successfully integrated into the classroom, technology must be aligned, right? Has to be aligned with your classroom objectives, or it has to be aligned with the curriculum. If there is no connection between classwork and computer work, it's not going to work. All right. And what we are going to do for for this project, we're going to integrate, we're going to correlate our curriculum with your curriculum. All right. So it will be a fully integrated course. Just want to. 4 years ago, 2014, the Los Angeles Unified School District in Los Angeles, California, right, made a strategic decision, similar to the decision that you made. They made a strategic decision. They gave 600,000 iPads, right, to 600,000 students, right, in the greater Los Angeles area. They gave them 600,000 iPads. But teachers didn't receive any training, students didn't receive any training, and there was no connection between the computer work and classwork. And guess what happened? Guess what? This was a complete disaster, right? Students were not using the iPads, students were not using the technology, there was no connection between classwork and computer work. This project failed, all right? We're not going to fail, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to integrate our program with your curriculum. We're going to create a fully integrated course where the online activities will match your classroom objectives. All right, so we also need to learn from other people's or other countries' mistakes. All right, learning from other people's mistakes is important. Yes, there are like 3 ladies raising their hand. Yes, please.
Hi.
What has the
Hi, my name is Efren. I'm from Veracruz. I would like to ask you 2 questions. The first one is, what are the bases that your research was working on? And the second one is that, well, we have all worked with different platforms, Cambridge, Oxford, whatever. What is the difference? Summing up, what would be the difference between this platform and the other ones?
Okay. Your name, please?
Efren.
Fred.
Efren.
All right, Efren. Thank you for these important questions. I'm going to give you an overview of the platform in just a few minutes, and then when showing you the platform, I will, discuss the rationale, right? The rationale and the design principles behind the platform. All right. So I'm going to address this question in a few minutes. Yes, please.
Alejandra Guevara from Hidalgo. I'm Bernie. I just want to say that I think most of us, we are the 21st century teachers.
Absolutely.
And that we want to work with ICT. The thing is that maybe most of our authorities do not realize the importance of it. And maybe it's not that they do not realize, it's because of our conditions. And I don't know if in your schools, but in ours, the thing is that every single normal has their own needs. But we have to do something like in general. We need this kind of resources everywhere, not just in one or two. And I think the first step is to realize that it is an extension, not our lesson. It's not going to be just based on one lesson. It's going to be like an extension of our lessons, and that we need the self-access centers or the labs to be really ready for us to work with these kind of things. Because yes, we are from faraway schools and they do not have even electricity power. So how can we do that? Thank you.
Okay. Again, Ruben, do you want to answer these questions, or I will? You can go ahead. No, you can go ahead. Well, look, I mean, what we're trying to do here, I mean, together with all the directores, is to implement or to transition from traditional face-to-face teaching methods to a blended or integrated learning approach, which, you know, research has shown that it's effective, especially for Mexican students. All right. We are going to, and you're going to face some challenges in the implementation of this project. Right? It won't be free of challenges. You will be facing challenges, but we have a team of trainers, consultants, who are going to visit your schools, are going to do some classroom observations, are going to visit teachers, are going to, you know, participate or attend your meetings, right, in order to address those challenges and provide solutions. Okay? Now, we are going to integrate or correlate our online curriculum with your English curriculum. We're going to build or to create an online English course which is fully correlated with your classroom objectives. So if, let's say, you teach, or if you want to teach the, I don't know, food vocabulary, right, in a classroom, then you would teach food vocabulary on Monday, and then the next day students would go to the lab or would go online to practice food vocabulary. Then Tuesday, you would teach, let's say, the future tenses. Then the next day, they would go to the lab to practice the future tenses. So the lab activities will be fully correlated with your classroom objectives. Okay? It will be a fully integrated course. Yes, name?
Hi, good morning. Yuri from Guerrero.
Guerrero.
I work in a normal where in one of the largest cities in the state. So we have problems with internet. I'm so for technology. I'm so for teaching my students with this. The problem is that we don't have the resources. So what I wanted to tell you is that I don't remember, but your research was in Chihuahua, right?
Correct.
Why don't you do a research in one of the southern states, like Guerrero, Chiapas, Oaxaca, that are the states that have a lot of problems, right. And we have normales in up the montaña where don't have even power lines. So it could be good, sure, that you can do some research to have a point of view, yes, from a totally different context. Absolutely. To do something like that, so we can compare, yes, both contexts, and we can work in a better plan for the whole country because we are in different contexts.
Absolutely. Yuri, right? Yuri? Yuri. Absolutely. We're actually implementing a national project, right? A national project in Peru. We partner up with the Ministry of Education of Peru they made a strategic decision 3 years ago to transition from face-to-face to blended, to Edusoft blended solution because of the poor results, right, of the Peruvian students. So there are 500,000 Peruvian students, 500,000 students in Peru, right, in public schools, right, that are using our program. To answer your questions, there are schools in the Amazonas, there are schools like in the middle of nowhere where there is no internet connection. For those schools where there is no internet connection, we created an offline version of the program. Offline version is a version which is installed locally on the school server, right? So students can access the program, right, without accessing the internet, all right? So We can, discuss this with your team, right? We can do research. We can discuss the possibility of maybe developing an offline version. These are, definitely something these are things that we need to discuss with your team. But the answer is yes, we do have offline solutions, right? For students in areas where there is no internet connection. Yes,
I was going to say something very quickly. That's why we invited Isaac Salazar, the director of Desarrollo Institucional. You remember his participation. That's exactly what he said. It's important for you to talk to your community, to talk to the directors of your school, so that they know the importance of investments on technology, because we cannot be behind all these resources that we are here talking about. That's why it's important to have a meeting like this, and so that you share your experiences with us, and we can find a solution, and a specific solution because all the normales have different contexts. We know about that, and exactly we need to work with offline resources, online tools and technology, because not all the schools have the same conditions. We know that. Mexico City, we have big gaps, technology gaps. There are some communities that have access to everything, but there are other schools that don't even have power like some of us have said. So I would like to suggest maybe to have 2 more comments and then continue, because we don't have a lot of time. So maybe after his Dr. Glick's participation, we can ask more specific questions and see how we all together find a solution for our specific country. So if you agree, we can have a couple of more questions.
Okay, Margarita again. Again, I'm not going to repeat what we've been saying about the importance of the different situations we have in different schools. I just wanted to notice that we also, since we're working with teachers that have a lot of practice times, we have to keep in mind that we don't have, this looks wonderful, and I hope we can implement it, but we have to keep in mind that, for example, my students go for 2 months. I don't see them for 2 months because they go away for practices. So how are we going to include it? How are we going to implement it and manage it? I'm just giving you the idea because we have to keep that in mind. My 7th semester students have just left to practice in their kindergartens and their primary schools, and I won't see them again until December. So that's the only thing.
Yes.
How are we going to manage that? That's the only thing. Okay.
All right. I'm going to Margarita, right?
Yeah.
Margarita. Okay. The reason why we're transitioning from traditional face-to-face teaching to online or blended instruction is to make learning as flexible, as accessible as possible. Using this, ladies and gentlemen, your teachers or your students will receive a username and password. They can access the program anywhere, anytime, all right? Even when they're away, traveling, they're in Europe, they're in the States, visiting family, friends, all right? They can access the program anywhere, anytime. And the platform comes with a management system. Using the management system, you have this show here like Big Brother or Hermano Grande here. Yeah. Exactly. Using the management system, ladies and gentlemen, you can monitor your students, right? You can check their progress, their logins, average test scores, time on the platform, completion. You can identify, at risk or struggling students. You can communicate with them. You can identify, weaker students, stronger students, fast learners. All right. So using the management system, you can be or you will be in full control of the learning process. Okay. Yes, please.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I know that everyone would like to have this microphone in their hands. I'm sorry. I hope I could be the spokesman. Okay. Well, I have two specific questions. One, how long will this take? I mean, I understand it will be a very helpful tool. I understand what Margarita said. We all have this, we all face this reality that many of our students, not only the 7th graders, but many of them leave the school and we have many suspensions and many events, and it's been really difficult. Plus, the challenge that sadly, English is not the best for everyone. We all love English here, and we all understand the importance. We are facing cultural resistance. The directors, the other teachers, the students, most of them, at least in our context, they don't understand why do they have to speak English. And when you ask them and you make them like analyze the situation, they say, well, maybe one day in my life I will find someone and maybe I will have a conversation. So it's so far away from their reality that they don't get it, so they don't invest their time with that. So we have to engage them, we have to make them fall in love with English, we have to do many things. And this is great. I know it will help us. When? When is it going to happen? How long will it take to have this access, full access to use the tool? Thank you.
To answer, I'll basically, yeah.
No, it's just exactly. I completely agree with you. At the DGESPETV, I'm in charge of 2 important projects. One project is called the CEDIE, Centro Virtual de Innovación Educativa, Technology, MOOCs, online courses, and the other is the fortalecimiento del inglés. So those two programs, specifically those 2 programs, of course, many teachers at Normales, directors, etc., don't like the idea to study, for the students to study English or to use technology. So we have of course, we have a big challenge ahead of us. That's why it's important to build our English teacher network is going to be the first network for all the Normales. So little by little, we're going to have a biology network or kindergarten network, etc. But this is going to be our first network, online network, so that exactly we can find solutions, share experiences, etc. But of course, we know that we have those big problems ahead of us because of the resistance that the Normales community have to education, to technology, and English.
Another time?
Yes.
I just want to, for us, I mean, for Edusoft, ETS, this is, I would say, a highly strategic partnership, very strategic project, and we're committed to working closely with your team, right, to making this, as effective as possible, right? We've got trainers, we've got consultants on our teams, we've got material developers, we've got implementation specialists, right, and we're committed, right, to helping your team, to helping your directors implement this program as effective and as effectively as possible. All right. To answer your question, I mean, generally speaking, not specifically about this project. Usually, the first step towards implementation or towards implementing those projects is teacher training, right? You will receive training. Next step would be building those customized courses, right? Giving you usernames and passwords. You will receive like a training kit on how to train your teachers, right? Using the platform, right? So you will be trained as to how to train your teachers, right? How to use this, right? So the first step would be training you, right? Become like certifying you as trainers, right? So that would be the first step. 9 years ago, we were in Tamaulipas, Ciudad Victoria, as part of a statewide project where the your Minister of Education made a decision to use the PNIEP curriculum. That was, I think, 9 years ago. PNIEP curriculum, which that was like a national English language curriculum. The Minister of Education decided to implement this program, and we went to Ciudad Victoria to work with 50 master trainers. 50 master trainers from the Ciudad Victoria. They were trained and certified as PNIEP specialists, as PNIEP trainers. Those 50 trainers, they went on to their regions, to their schools, to train teachers using our methodology, which is pretty much what we're trying to do the same, in this project, training you and certifying you as trainers of the platform. All right, and you will receive a certificate, and you will train your teachers in your schools, in your regions, in your states on how to use this platform. Yes, one more question, one last question before.
Excuse me, I have the mic. I have 2 questions. I'm sorry about that, but I'm helping out.
Where are you from again?
My name is Desislava, and I'm from Cancun. From
I think we should have the next training in Cancun.
I agree with you. Okay.
We should have the next training in Cancun.
We agree. Well, the first question is there a normal school that has already tried your platform?
As far as I know, the question is if there are any normal schools that are already implementing. I don't know about normal schools, but there are definitely clients or schools in Mexico that are using the platform. If you go back to the ready room, we've got a school in this one, the UMM. If you scroll down, please. UMM, scroll down. UMM, this one, this school is in Monterrey, right? They're using the platform. One is using the platform. We've got schools in Baja California Sur that are using the platform. Universidad de Tijuana, right, in Baja California Sur. We've got also Santillana. If you can show them the Santillana page, please. Thank you. Santillana is a book publisher, right? They're using the platform together with their books. We integrated, we correlated our materials with their books, which is what we're going to do, right, with your books. We're going to integrate our materials with your books, with your curriculum.
A platform that is already done.
No, customized. It's customized. We have a bank. We have a bank of over 2,000 learning hours, and we can pick and choose activities, materials, exercises to match your needs and expectations in terms of level, in terms of topic, in terms of vocabulary, right? In terms of culture, all right?
And my last question is it going to cost our students anything?
I don't know. No, this is no, the answer is no. All right, as long as there are free trips to Cancun. Yes, please. All right.
I was the one who was asking. Yeah, Martin, thank you for remembering. I was asking if this platform has already been tested in a normal, because it is important to have data, actual numbers, actual things to be able to sell the project to our principals so that they will invest in them.
Right. So, again, it hasn't been tested or implemented in any of the normal schools. It has been successfully implemented in schools in Chihuahua, schools in Mexico City, Baja California Sur, Tamaulipas, and book publishers like Santillana that are using this program. All right, we will send you a copy of this research study. Right, we'll send you a copy of the research study, the one which was conducted in the state of Chihuahua, which shows that students using this platform, they do much better compared to students using traditional teaching methods or learning methods. All right, we will give you we will create a PowerPoint presentation with some tips or the benefits of the platform so you can share this, so you can show this to decision makers in your region. Okay, good. Yes? You ran out? Sorry?
Is that attractive enough? Nah.
Yeah.
One last question.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
let's continue. Is there going to be a task force from us in the design, or are you just going to
No, we're going to work very closely with your team. We're going to we need to create some kind of we need to create or design define the scope, right, and the specification of this project. Number of learning hours, the topics, the learning approach, or the rationale behind the course. This needs to be defined. It will be defined together with your team. Once defined, we will build the course, right, according to your needs and expectation. This is a customized course which will meet your needs and your students' needs. All right? It's not like, a one-size-fits-all. Right? It's not the same course that Baja is using. It's not the same course that Santillana is using. It will be a completely different course, a customized solution which will match your needs and expectations. All right. good. You're out of questions. No more questions. This is the login page or the login screen, right? This is how students would log into the platform. All right, they will receive a username and a password. They will get a username and a password. You, by the way, you also have usernames and passwords on your folders. All right, so after today's presentation, you can log into the platform as students. Okay, so I log into the platform as a student. By the way, you will have 2 usernames and passwords, one as a student and one as a teacher. All right, as a teacher to monitor your student progress. All right, now I log into the platform as a student. What you're seeing on the screen, these are our standard courses. These are the courses, standard courses using our curriculum, which is aligned with international standards like the CEFR. However, there is another course, click on the right of the navigation area. There is another course which is called Sample Integration. Sample Integration is a customized course, right, which is aligned with your national curriculum. Right, so there are 2 types of courses. There is the core curriculum, our curriculum, which is aligned with the CEFR, with international standards, and there is also this, the sample integration, which we created for this training, for this workshop, and integration, which is aligned with your standards. If you could please open the Word document, show them the Word document, right? This is like a sample integration. Right? These are the objectives from your national curriculum, right? Students will be able to identify main ideas. Students will be able to, identify or talk about everyday routines or everyday whatever. These are the objectives, right? Or the standards from your national curriculum. These are computer lessons or computer activities which match, right? Which match your national standards in terms of objectives, in terms of level, in terms of topic, in terms of vocabulary. All right, so this is a sample integration based on 3 or 4 standards, right? Back to the PowerPoint or to the platform, please. And this is the online course, right, which is fully correlated with the standards, okay? Now we created this sample integration for this workshop, right? We're going to sit with your team to define the course, specifications, and we will make some adjustments to this course if needed. Okay. Okay. Let's click on the navigation arrow. Let's show them. Let's do basic. Let's do one of the basic courses. Next course, please. Next level. Basic 2. Basic 2. Scroll down, please. Scroll down. All right. Let's look at this unit. Unit 2. Healthy eating. Healthy eating. Right. Healthy eating has 6 lessons. Right? This unit has 6 lessons. The lessons cover all language skills. There are listening, speaking, reading, grammar, vocabulary, and writing activities. All right? Let's take a look at the first lesson, which is the listening, food. All right? Let's look at the first lesson. Right? The first lesson is a listening. Right? A listening lesson. All right. It's loading, or it should be loading. This is what happens when you use other people's computers and not your own computer. Click on the green button, please. All right. So this is a listening exercise where students listen to a short. Where students listen to this. I think it's a radio program.
Welcome to Sheila's Kitchen. Today's program is about salads. Good morning, Sheila.
All right. Now, when we designed the program, going back to your question, when we designed the program, we integrated or incorporated a number of help tools or scaffolding tools to the program, right? To make this program we've added a number of scaffolding tools and help tools to the program. So struggling students, right? Struggling students will also find the program user-friendly. The first tool is C script or C text, right? Right? You can watch it, you can read the text, right? While watching the video, while listening to the dialogue, right? So if you click the play button, right?
Good morning, Sheila.
Hello, Mike. and good morning to all our listeners.
All right. Now, what if, are there any Jorges here? Any Jorges? Jorges? There is one. Pedro's? Carlos? I ran out of names. I need to take a Latin name. All right, Roberto's? No Roberto's. Excellent. What if student Roberto, right, doesn't know, right, let's look for a word that Roberto, let's say the word cucumbers, all right? Let's say Roberto doesn't know what the word cucumbers mean, all right? You right-click the word, you put the mouse, right, the word cucumbers, you right-click the word, right, cucumbers, you right-click the word, right here, the word cucumbers, right-click the mouse, right-click, all right? You get the meaning of the word in English, you can change to the support language to Spanish, right here, Spanish. So this is what happens when you use other people's computer. You get the meaning of the word in English and Spanish. You get the meaning of the word in English and Spanish. All right. All right. So this is help tools. Some of the help tools that we you can close this window. Some of the help tools right here. You get the meaning of the word in Spanish. All right, and you can also hear how the word is pronounced by clicking on the speaker. Cucumber. All right. So you can hear how the word is pronounced in both British and American English. All right, or American accent. Now, if you click the mouse, left click the mouse, right click the mouse, you click here part, right, to hear how the sentence is pronounced.
When I was young, we ate green salads, lettuce or cucumbers with some salt and a little lemon juice.
Okay, now, so students, watch a video or listen to this radio program, or radio show, they read a text, and then they click, or they go to the next step, which is practice, right? They do the practice questions, which is right here. You click on the green button, right? And usually the first question is a vocabulary exercise where you drag the words to the correct image, right? Practicing vocabulary in context, right? Matching the words to the correct image, right? So you match the word in the correct image, and we teach vocabulary and grammar in context, right? Going back to your question, answering, we teach vocabulary and grammar in context, all right? Now, again, to support or to help all the Robertos and the struggling students can click See Answer or Check Answer. Now go back to the previous page, please, all right? You can click Check Answer for immediate feedback. All right, click Check Answer or See Answer for immediate feedback. All right, click Check Answer, please. Or yeah, you get immediate feedback. Going back to what one of you said earlier about student motivation and instant feedback. Right, you click See Feedback. Students receive immediate feedback. Now, if you're struggling, if you're a Roberto, you're struggling with the program, with the exercise, with the question, you click See Answer. Right here, you can click See Answer, try again and See Answer. Right here, click the arrow first, click on the arrow, this one, and See Answer. All right, so again, students can try again, See Answer, Check Answer, all right, and get immediate feedback, okay? And again, the program is available 24/7. Next exercise, please. All right, this is a sentence completion exercise where you listen to these words or sentences from the radio program, and you complete. You're filling the sentence, or you complete the sentences using the word bank. Right. So let's click the play button.
And now a few words about Durell plates and dishes. You can cook in them, bake in them, and freeze food in them too.
So using the word bank, you complete sentences. All right, wonderful. Let's please click on the menu here, right here. Click on the menu, home. All right, let's. I want to show them a lesson from Basic 3. Let's do Basic 3. Scroll down, please. Scroll down, down. Let's try eating out. there is a video about Mexican restaurants, which I want to.
So, can the students navigate all through the levels?
No, there you can you assign one unit at a time, or one level at a time. All right, this is a lesson, right? Another lesson or video. Right. Has to do with the internet connectivity. All right. All right, so this is a 3-minute video, or a short video taking place in a restaurant, right, where students watch a 2 or 3-minute video, right, practicing food and restaurant vocabulary. Food and restaurant vocabulary. These are original videos which were produced by our team, right? These aren't like YouTube videos or the National Geographic videos. These are original videos produced by our team. All right. Click on the. Let's do the practice section. Go to practice, please. Click practice right here. And click on the green arrow. The green arrow. Right. Click on this arrow right here. Let's show them the next. I want to show them the last item. Item 8. Item number 8. All right. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is a writing assignment. Right. This is a writing assignment where students write the menu. Write what the waiter says, or answer this question. Students answer this question, and then they click submit. They click submit, and this assignment or this paragraph or their submission goes to the computer for automated evaluation. Right? Their assignment or the submission goes to the computer for automated evaluation. The computer will underline or will correct their spelling, their grammar, mechanics, punctuation, capital letters, sentence structure. All right? So everything is done automatically. Okay? And again, going back to the advantages of technology, this will reduce your workload. These assignments are scored automatically by the system. All right? So this will reduce teachers' workload. Yes, sir?
Is that an online feature?
Yes, this is an online feature. We're using an automated writing evaluation technology that was developed by ETS. ETS are using the same technology, right, to grade or to score some of their online assessments. All right, so we've incorporated this engine into the platform.
I'm sorry, I have another question. Again, Katia from Hidalgo. Does this system have any kind of lock so students cannot cheat? Because they tend to copy and paste. So what if they have to do this exercise and they take it from Google Translator or whatever? It happens, believe me. I'm sorry.
Yes. First, I mean, the system includes, right, or comes with like, there are multiple assessment points, or there are quizzes and online tests and midterm tests and final tests and speaking and writing exercises, so they cannot cheat all the time, right? If they're cheating, right, they will fail the midterm test or the final test. Now the system comes with a management system, right? From the management system, you can monitor the student progress, and the system will, will identify students where there seems to be some gaps or discrepancies, right, between their test scores. Right, so if there is like a gap, let's say on day 1 they receive 85 on the first quiz, and then the next day they get let's say 22, right? Then there is like a significant drop or gap in their test scores, so discrepancies. Then those students will be identified, right, as either at-risk students or potential cheaters, or students who are not really using our guidelines or following our guidelines, right? But what they need to understand is that in order to pass the final test or the midterm test, they need to complete the exercises. They need to do the exercises. If they don't, if they're cheating, then they will fail the test. Okay? Good. Back to this. So this is a technology, a very unique technology, where writing assignments are evaluated or being evaluated automatically by the system. Next is a test, right? Next step is a test. There is an online test, the Glick Start test. Now let's quickly answer those questions. Let's mark the first answer as the correct answer. All right. And then the second question and the third, let's mark the first answer as the correct answer. Right? Then click submit for all of them. We're going to mark the first answer as the correct answer. All right, for all of them, and then we click submit. All right, we click submit, and then, ladies and gentlemen, all right, we click submit. Now, if you click review, ladies and gentlemen, by clicking review, you, the supervisor or the teacher, you can compare your students' answers with the correct answer. All right, you can compare your students' answers with the correct answer. Now, this is very important step, right, in any language learning process. Identifying your students' weaknesses, right? So using this, from this page, you can identify your students' weaknesses, right? You can identify your students' weaknesses and make instructional decisions or adjust your teaching accordingly. Again, going back to the question or the issue of advantages of technology over traditional face-to-face instruction. From here, from this page, you will be able to see what your students are struggling with, the areas or language skills they're struggling with. All right, and then you can make instructional decisions. All right, in other words, if they're struggling with, let's say, past simple, past perfect, or whatever, then you, as a classroom teacher, you can make instructional decisions or adjust your classroom teaching accordingly. You should spend more time focusing or teaching the past simple. Okay? Again, we're promoting an approach which is called assessment for learning approach. Assessment for learning approach, where the focus is, or where we align assessment with instruction. We align assessment with instruction. We identify our students' weaknesses, and then we make instructional decisions accordingly. Right? Again, an effective or a good teaching or learning process is a process where classroom instruction reflects students' weaknesses and strengths, where classroom instruction reflects students' needs, which is what we're doing, what we're promoting. We're helping you identify your students' needs so you can make instructional decisions or adjust your teaching accordingly. Okay? All right. All right. Now, let's click on the question mark right here at the upper right-hand side of your screen. Sorry, let's click here. Click here on this, right here. No, click on the, this is a dictionary. Yes, there is a bilingual dictionary, ladies and gentlemen, an English-Spanish dictionary, right? Students can enter words or unfamiliar words. They get the meaning of the words in English and Spanish, right? So they can use the bilingual dictionary to get the meaning of the words in English and in Spanish, all right? Okay, let's look at the next exercise. Let's change the lesson from listening to, let's do vocabulary, nutrition, vocabulary. All right, let's do vocabulary. Click on the green button, please. All right, again, the topic of the unit is food, nutrition, and restaurants. All right, so this unit we introduce or teach 10 vocabulary words or 10 vocabulary items within the context of restaurants and food and nutrition, right? Students learn these words in context. We teach words in context. You get the meaning of the word, you hear how the word is pronounced.
Diet.
And you hear how the word is used in context.
She's on a diet because she wants to lose 10 pounds.
All right, so we introduce those new words. We teach the words in context. Students can hear how the word is pronounced, and then they can use this sample sentence or example where the word is used in context. Okay? Sorry? Yes, we have a speech recognition technology. There is a speech recognition technology which I'm not going to show you because I'm not using my computer. So using speech recognition technology, you can record yourself, right? And then using the speech recognition technology, the system will give you instant feedback on your pronunciation. You get instant feedback, immediate feedback on your pronunciation. All right?
So you practice the 4 skills.
Absolutely, the 4 skills: speaking, writing, listening, and reading. Okay. Good. All right. I want to show you another exercise. Let's click on home, please. Home right here. Now let's change. Let's do intermediate 1. I think there is a unit called online banking. Intermediate 1. Scroll down, please. Scroll down, down, down. There should be unit 9, I think, online banking. Click on online banking, please. Opening a bank account. Opening a bank account. Click on the menu, please, on the menu right here at the top. Once again, branching, speaking practice. All right, next, please. All right. Again, I'm not using my computer, but this is an interactive speaking exercise where students interact with a computer, where you interact with a computer, you interact with a bank manager, you interact with a teacher, you interact with a student, right? Right? You click start to start the conversation, right? You click start to start the conversation, you take part in a dialogue, right? You take part in this interactive dialogue, you can hear yourself, and also you get immediate feedback on your pronunciation. All right, you get immediate feedback on your pronunciation, which is one of the advantages of technology over traditional face-to-face teaching. All right, click on lesson, email number for lesson 5, please. Lesson 5. Lesson 5. Click on the lesson menu. The lesson menu, please. Integrated writing, please. Integrated writing. Next step, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going back to your questions about the advantages of the platform over other platforms. We're promoting an integrated approach to language learning. We're promoting a holistic approach to language learning where 2, sometimes 3 or 4 skills are integrated into a single lesson, into one lesson, which simulates real-life situations. Right? When you go to the airport, right, or let's say you go to the airport, right, there are like some, they make those public announcements, right, it's listening. Sometimes you have to fill out some forms or complete some forms. That's writing and reading, right? Sometimes, they ask you to answer questions to the immigration officers that's speaking. These are real-life situations, ladies and gentlemen. In real-life situations, you incorporate or integrate 4 skills into a single situation. Right? Which is what we're promoting in our platform. Here there is a short web page, right? There is a web page about online banking. You read the page, then you answer a question, right? We're integrating writing with reading, right? Reading a short web page and then responding to a question about the web page. Right? Just like what a student would do in real life situations. You go to the immigration officer, or you facing the immigration officer. They ask you to fill out the form to answer some questions. All right. So these are real life situations. Let's change the lesson again to lesson 3. The machine ate my bank or ate my bank card. Let's change the lesson. Step. Go up, please. Step up. Personalized speaking. Next step, please. Next step. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very exciting exercise which I believe that none of the other providers none of them has yet to incorporate into the platform. This integrates speaking with listening and reading. It integrates 3 skills. This is a personalized speaking exercise. You click start, please, right? You have 1 minute to prepare, right? They ask you to, answer this question, right? They ask you to answer a question about online banking, right? They ask you to express your opinion about online banking or mobile banking, the advantages and disadvantages of online banking. You have 1 minute to prepare, to think about what you want to say. Right? They give you 60 seconds to prepare, which, by the way, this is a questions that your students will find in international exams, such like the TOEFL, right? So this is like an example of activity types and question types which students will find in those international exams. which is one of the advantages that we have over other platforms. Preparing students or exposing students to TOEFL-like questions or activities. So students record themselves. Usually, they have 45 or 60 seconds to record themselves. All right, and then they can either hear themselves, try again, or send the recording to the teacher for evaluation. All right, so now you have 1 minute to record yourself. All right, you have 1 minute to record yourself. You click stop, and then you can retry, hear, or send the recording to your teacher. If you scroll down, it says send to teacher. Okay, so the recording goes to the teacher. From the management system, you have this management system, you can download those recordings. There is a rubric that we created. There is a rubric, an online rubric, where you can score those recordings using a rubric. You click send, and your feedback goes back to the student. It goes to the student for, for them to improve their listening or their speaking based on your comments and feedback. All right, so this is a very nice tool where students can record themselves. The recording goes to the teacher for feedback. Teachers use a rubric, which has been integrated or incorporated into the management system. Use the rubric to give feedback to the students. They click send, the feedback goes to the student. Students can, see teacher's feedback and try again. The focus here, going back to the advantages, is on the learning process. We're focusing on the process, not on the outcomes. For us, the process is just as important as the learning outcomes. For us, the final grade is not that interesting. We're not interested in the final grade. We're focusing on what happens during the course, right? So students get feedback from their teachers. They can try again. They can improve their writing. They can improve their speaking. The focus is on the process, not on the outcomes. Yes, Margarita, you're
I'm a little talkative.
You are.
Talking about preparing students for international certification, do you have any Cambridge-like questions or activities? Because you talked about TOEFL, but
Yes.
what about Cambridge certification?
Yeah, we do have the platform the platform will expose students to a wide range of exercise, activity types, and question types that your students will find on most international exams. Right? We've got like personalized speaking question types. We've got like activities where students would integrate information, right? Integrate information from 2 and sometimes 3 sources. They would read a blog page, a web page, and let's say an article, and then they would answer questions, right? Which were based on those 3 articles or 3 readings. These are all question types or activity types that they would see or would find on most international exams. Okay? Yes, sir.
And how much is it? How much does a license cost?
Free, as long as there are free trips to Cancun. I think it's a project which is funded by the Ministry of Education, the government. All right, wonderful. We love the Mexican government. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, so this is all very exciting. This is all very exciting. This is a great tool that is going to increase student motivation. It's going to make learning more effective. But this is, only the first step. Again, this is only the first step. You need training. You will receive more trainings. We will give you usernames and passwords so you can enter the platform. You can access the platform. We'll give you some documents and materials which focus on the benefits of this platform for teachers, for students, for decision makers, so you can, be like our ambassadors, right? Promoting the platform to your states. Monica, let's enter the management system real quick. Click log out. Click right here, the log out, and let's enter the platform of the teacher management system. I think it's master, admin, I don't remember. Now you're going to have. I'm about to finish. I know that some of you are. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have 2 usernames and passwords. One as a student, one as a teacher. All right? No. This? No, this one. This one. All right, so you can log in as, I think, master. All right, so as a teacher, ladies and gentlemen, as a trainer, ladies, as a trainer, you can monitor your student progress, right? You can monitor your student progress. To do that, you go to reports. We go to reports, course reports, right? You go to reports, course reports, all right? You select report, student progress. You will receive training, right? You will receive training on the management system. You go to progress report, you select your class. Let's select our training class. And we select the student, the DGESPE 1. Select student, the DGESPE 1. Is there the DGESPE 1 here? No? No. All right. So let's change the report, please, from student progress to class summary. Class summary. Class summary. Class summary. All right, and you click go. Click go. Right, and let's change the level to basic 2. Change the level right here to basic 2, please. Basic 2. Right, and from here, ladies and gentlemen, from here you can monitor, you can see whether or not students are using the program, and you can see their average test score. All right, so this is Aguascalientes. So we see that this student from Aguascalientes, right, failed the quizzes, right? I'm the one from Aguascalientes, right? So this is the one from Aguascalientes. The test. You failed the test. Could you please, Monica, please put the mouse over this name. Let's see what the name is. This is Aguascalientes.
The DGESPE 1.
The DGESPE 1 Aguascalientes. Okay, so let's check the time. Go up, scroll up, please, and change the report from class summary to time. Time on task. Time on task. All right, and again, select your training class. All right, it's loading. Select the training class and click go. Click go. And change the level to basic 2. All right, so you can check your progress. You can check completion. You can monitor test scores, and you can also monitor time. You can see how much time they spend on the platform. So right here, we see that our student from, this is, where is Aguascalientes? Right here, spent 33 minutes, right? What did it say, 33 minutes? No, change the level from first discoveries to basic 1. Right here, change first discoveries to basic 2, basic 2. All right? So from here you can see whether or how often students use the platform, all right? Or if they're using the platform at all. All right, so right here you see that this is Aguascalientes. He spent 5 minutes on Unit 2. All right, 5 minutes on Unit 2. All right, and he skipped the first unit, Unit 1. He hasn't done any work. He has no progress in Unit 1. So this information is very useful for teachers. Right, you can see whether they're struggling with any of this, the skill areas, the language skills, the units, the topics, and whether they're skipping units. This student, ladies and gentlemen, skipped Unit 1. You as the teacher, as the trainer, you need to, you can either block the units, you can block the units, so students, cannot jump units or skip units, right? So using the management system, you can, monitor the progress of your students, you can give them feedback, you can assign materials, you can unassign materials, all right? Again, I know it's a bit overwhelming. You will receive training on the management system. We will give you training on the management system. Questions? Yes, sir.
I got a simple question about the grading stuff and all of those beautiful tables that help you a lot. Will we be able to download like all of those tables, all of those grades, like on an Excel file or
Absolutely.
or a doc?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh,
if you click export, those tables can be exported to Excel or PDF. They can be exported to Excel and PDF.
Because that would be super handy when you're like grading everything,
Everything is done automatically, ladies and gentlemen. The system will also calculate, or will do the average course grade, the final grade for your students. Right? The final grade will be generated automatically by the system. Right? So you don't need to worry about grading them or marking them. Everything will be done automatically. Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. Can we create content?
Excellent question. Click on curriculum, please. Curriculum. Authoring tool. New. gentlemen, using the authoring tool, all right, don't worry about it. Using the authoring tool, you can create additional materials, new content. Ladies, you can create new content using the authoring tool. New online content, and this content will be added to the platform, right? Will be part of the course. So if you want to create some exam preparation questions, or if you want to create some more, let's say, new content or questions specific or which are more related to the Mexican culture, to the culture of your area, your region, your country, your state, right? Using the authoring tool, right, you can do so. You can create new content. It will be online, right, and it will be part of the online course. Yes, sir.
The kind of teacher access will be available for offline platform.
Yes, okay. We're implementing a national project in Peru. National project with 500,000 students and 4,000 teachers in Peru. And there are regions in Peru where there is no internet access. Right? So in those regions where there is no internet access, we give those teachers like a stick or a USB drive. And every 2 weeks, they perform a process which is called a synchronization process, where they synchronize the offline version with the online version. So basically, they download the progress reports from the offline course, and then when they have internet access, or if they have internet access, they plug this in. They put this into the the online system, and to synchronize the offline data with the online data. So once every 2 weeks, there is like a synchronized or synchronization process where they sync the online data with the offline progress reports. Teachers, yes, yeah. Students are not responsible for doing the sync process. Yes, sir.
In regards to student registration, is that managed by the teachers? Is there a limit for the number of students that we register?
Right. Well, you will receive usernames and passwords, right? Like paquete. The word is in Spanish, paquete. You will receive usernames and passwords, right? I guess from the directors, right? Using the usernames and passwords, let's say you've got 500 teachers in your state, in your region, you will receive 500 usernames and passwords, right? Which will be distributed, right? You will give those usernames and passwords, ladies, to your teachers, all right? All right, so you need to tell, or you need to contact the directors, telling them how many licenses or how many teachers you have in your state, and you will get like usernames and passwords for those 500 teachers or students.
Thank you.
Yes. Margarita, I'm a bit surprised. I haven't said anything in 2 minutes. It's a bit boring.
Don't worry.
All right, she's charging with you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
All right.
I think a very big question. When is this going to be available?
Yes, I cannot answer this question, and this question should be addressed by the directors. I mean, basically, again, in terms of the next steps, we need to do the integration. We need to integrate the platform, our platform, with your standards. Once we do the integration, you will receive training. You will train your teachers, all right? And then basically, that will be the next step or the last step before this project is implemented. Integration, training, and orientation.